It is tough, I mean, but there's a lot of stuff that reminds me of her. You know, in like relationships, like you see something on TV and you're like, oh, I remember when we used to watch this, or I remember this smell, it reminds me of.
Justin, are you gonna propose to Selena Gomez? You guys make a really good couple. I see that smile.
The songs about love and significant others. How much of this is inspired by Selena?
A lot of it, dude. The song actually didn't make the album, but it was called If I Would've Met You in 5 Years. This is my ex-girlfriend, so I kind of try to cover her face up with some shading, but people...
He married someone else. He became a father. He built an empire, but somehow, Justin Bieber still can't seem to let go of the girl who got away, Selena Gomez. And now that she's engaged to his friend Benny Blanco, the obsession has reached a breaking point. This isn't just some petty ex-drama. It's emotional chaos unraveling in real time through Instagram posts, unfollows, cryptic captions, and music that screams heartbreak. Fans are watching it all unfold, and every move Justin makes tells the same story. He's still chasing a love that left him years ago. From publicly Googling Selena at Coachella, to dropping lyrics that sound like private diary entries, to unfollowing Benny the moment that ring hit her finger, Justin's heartbreak isn't healing. It's escalating dots. So what really happened? Why can't he move on, even with a wife, a child, and the whole world watching? Let's unravel the full timeline and expose the truth behind Justin's most emotional spiral yet. Justin Bieber may have walked down the aisle first, but it wasn't until Selena Gomez said yes to Benny Blanco that the heartbreak truly hit home. That moment, December 2024, wasn't just the end of an old love story. It was the beginning of Justin's unraveling. The moment he saw that engagement ring on Selena's finger, something inside him cracked, and it wasn't quiet. It was loud, public, and painful. This wasn't just jealousy. Benny Blanco wasn't some stranger. He was a friend, a collaborator. The guy who sat beside Justin in the studio, co-writing the very songs that poured out the pain Selena left behind. The same guy who once listened to Justin grieve over her, now holding her hand and making lifelong promises. For Justin, that ring wasn't just a ring, it was betrayal. It was finality. It was the brutal confirmation that the girl he once believed he'd end up with was never coming back. So when fans saw Justin quietly unfollow Benny on Instagram, it wasn't petty. It was personal. A message that said more than words ever could. You crossed a line. And I'm not okay, but the pain didn't end there. Because this wasn't just about a girl. It was about a ghost, and Justin had been living with it for years. It was supposed to be newlywed bliss. Justin had just married Hailey Baldwin. He was building a future, starting over, trying to convince the world and maybe himself that he'd moved on from Selena Gomez. But the internet remembers everything. And in April 2019, Justin slipped out of nowhere. He made a casual Instagram post about a tabloid spelling his name wrong. Seemed harmless. But fans weren't looking at the caption, they were staring at the search bar visible in the background. There it was clear as day, Selena Gomez Coachella outfit. Not once, twice searched, clicked, and clearly not accidental. He wasn't just scrolling, he was studying her. Obsessing over her every move. The same Selena who had just made a radiant comeback on stage. The same girl who once held his heart. When fans called him out, Justin went into full damage control. He claimed her video popped up next in autoplay while he was reviewing his own Coachella clips, but nobody bought it. The timing was too perfect. The wording too specific. Within hours, fan clips surfaced matching the exact videos he'd been caught watching. It was undeniable. Justin wasn't just thinking about Selena. He was tracking her, and this wasn't years after the breakup. This was barely months later. They had still been together in early 2018. The wounds hadn't healed. The love hadn't faded. And Justin, despite the wedding, despite the ring, couldn't stop looking back. If his Instagram left fans guessing, his music gave them answers. Because long after the camera stopped rolling, Justin Bieber was still speaking in verses, in melodies, and confessions disguised as pop hits. And every beat pointed in one direction: Selena, Take Lonely from 2020, a haunting ballad that cracked open the emptiness behind Justin's fame. The lyrics didn't name her, but the pain. It was unmistakable. He sang a feeling invisible, abandoned, hollow, and who was there helping him write it? Benny Blanco. the same man who would later put a ring on Selena's finger. Back then, Benny wasn't just a producer. He was a confidant, someone who understood how badly Justin was still hurting. How ironic that the one person who helped Justin process his heartbreak ended up becoming the reason it never fully healed. And then came Ghost, a soft, aching whisper of a song with a single devastating line. I miss you more than life. That wasn't just a lyric, that was a wound. A direct message to a love that had slipped through his fingers. Fans were convinced he wasn't singing to a memory, he was singing to Selena. Even Yummy, masked as a playful pop track, hit different when you knew the backstory. It dropped right as Selena was glowing up with her rare era, confident, healed, and unapologetically radiant. Meanwhile, Justin's honeymoon looked more like heartbreak in disguise. The contrast was glaring. She was rising. He was unraveling, and if that wasn't enough, there were songs he never even released, tracks he admitted were too personal. One of them, reportedly titled If I Would Have Met You in 5 Years, said everything. The timing, the regret, the love that came too soon or maybe too late. Every unreleased line was another chapter in a story he never stopped writing, a love he never stopped feeling. While Selena had her say with Luz, "You to love me, a bold." Final Goodbye, Justin kept whispering through his discography, as if each song was a message she might still hear. A chance to say what he never could face to Dash Face Sta and Behind the Beats. Was the same man who eventually took Selena's hand in his. Selena's engagement wasn't just a headline. For Justin, it was the trigger. And the fallout? It hit the internet like a tidal wave. Just days after the news broke, Justin's entire online presence shifted. He went from polished husband and father to a man unraveling in plain sight. His Instagram turned into a digital diary, raw, cryptic, and impossible to ignore. First came the unfollow, a quiet but clear rejection of Benny Blanco. Then a storm of strange posts. A meme of Gollum from Lord of the Rings captioned girls on social media when they get engaged. Petty? Maybe. But calculated? Absolutely. Fans instantly clocked it as shade, and not just towards Selena. Haley may have felt it too. Next, Justin posted a shirtless IG live. His eyes looked glazed, his energy off. Fans flooded the comments, concerned he had relapsed. Others swore it wasn't drugs, it was heartbreak. His spiral wasn't chemical. It was emotional. The kind that creeps in when you're watching the love of your life promise forever. To someone else. Then came the post that shattered even more hearts. A photo of his newborn son paired with a caption that read, "Hate to take your feelings ransom." No context, no clarity. Just a gut punch of confusion and pain. People didn't know whether to feel concerned or heartbroken or both. Why bring his child into this? Why frame fatherhood with such emotional chaos? It was clear. Justin wasn't just reacting. He was hurting, deeply, and whether he meant to or not, the world was watching him fall apart. Long before fans saw the spiral on social media, before the Gollum memes and emotional captions, there was one private moment that said it all, and it didn't need a post, a lyric, or a live stream to break the internet. Just hours before marrying Hailey Baldwin in September 2018, Justin Bieber reportedly sent a message that would haunt every love story headline for years to come. 3 words, to one person. I love you. And that person wasn't Hailey, it was Selena. Sources say it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a drunk dial. It was a final cry from a heart that hadn't let go. Maybe he thought it would bring closure. Maybe he hoped for a reply. But what it really did was expose a truth he never dared say. Aloud. He was still in love with the girl he had already lost. That one message shattered the illusion that he had moved on, that he was ready, that the chapter was closed. Because deep down, Justin wasn't starting a new life. He was forcing one. Smiling for the cameras, but torn apart inside. And if that text really happened, if it was real, then everything that followed starts to make sense. The music, the posts, the breakdowns, the cryptic digs. The tension in his marriage. He wasn't being messy just to be messy. He was grieving. Still trying to make peace with the love that had shaped him, undone him, and eventually slipped through his fingers. Even with a wife, even with a child, even with millions of fans telling him to move on. Justin was stuck in the one place he couldn't escape, the past. While Justin wrestled with regret, Selena was moving forward, gracefully, powerfully, and unapologetically. She wasn't posting for pity. She wasn't throwing shade. She was standing tall in the spotlight she had earned and owning her. Story with quiet confidence. In early 2025, Selena dropped a throwback video from her Disney Channel audition. The clip went viral, not just because of nostalgia, but because of how grounded she seemed. The message was clear. I've come a long way and I'm proud of it. No drama, no hidden meanings. Just a woman reclaiming her past without letting it own her. But Justin? He couldn't match that energy. He didn't echo pride, he echoed panic. Almost immediately after Selena's post, Justin fired back with a throwback of his own. Childhood pics and a random photo of him with Haley, captioned "Top Bitch." It was jarring, defensive, like he was trying to shout over a memory that still haunted him. As if Selena's piece forced him to prove something, that he'd won, that he was happy, but she no longer mattered. But the louder he posted, the more obvious it became. He still cared. Because when you have to post to prove your partner matters, people start asking questions. That post didn't read like love. It read like damage control. Selena didn't need to say a word. Her silence, her growth, her glow, it spoke volumes. Meanwhile, Justin looked like a man still chasing closure he never got, spiraling in the shadow of someone who had already let go. By now, Justin didn't have to say her name, the music said it for him. Every lyric, every caption, every perfectly timed post was part of a story he wasn't ready to stop telling. Just 5 days after Benny Blanco proposed to Selena, a milestone that should have been joyful, celebratory, sacred, Justin made a move. On December 16, 2024, he posted a photo of himself with Haley, but it wasn't the image that raised eyebrows. It was the song attached to it, All My Ghosts by Lizzie McAlpine, and one haunting line, I Can See It Now. The wedding of the year, it didn't take long for fans to decode the message. That wasn't a tribute to his own marriage, it was a shot fired straight at Selena's. The timing, the lyric, the caption. It all felt too specific to be coincidence. It wasn't about love. It was about reclaiming attention and maybe trying to take some of it back from the woman he still couldn't stop watching. Justin wasn't singing for the charts anymore. He was singing to cope, to stay relevant in a love story that had officially left him behind. His lyrics became subtle landmines. His captions, emotional puzzles. And with every drop of timed content, fans could see the bigger picture forming. Justin wasn't over her. And he wanted everyone to know it, because sometimes heartbreak doesn't look like tears. It looks like strategy, like post, like carefully selected songs, like trying to win an emotional war you already lost. From the outside, Justin's life looked picture perfect, married, a father, surrounded by fame, fortune, and millions of fans who still adored him. But behind that polished Instagram feed, something darker was creeping in, and no filter could hide it. He was still posting, still smiling, still trying to convince the world and maybe himself that everything was okay. But then came the cracks. One by one, the posts got more cryptic, the stories more emotional, until Justin stopped pretending and let the truth slip out. In a raw Instagram story, he admitted something that stunned fans. He often felt unworthy of everything he built. That deep down, he didn't believe he deserved his success. That sometimes he felt like a fraud. It wasn't just vulnerability. It was a confession, because you can be rich, loved, famous, and still feel empty if you're haunted by a love you never truly healed from. And for Justin, that ghost had a name. Selena. Fans started piecing it together. The timeline, the lyrics, the breakdowns, the way he seemed to unravel right after her engagement, the way he posted his son one day and a shady meme the next. It was emotional whiplash, and it all pointed back to one truth. Justin wasn't just reacting to Selena's love story. He was collapsing under it. He had tried to bury the past, replace it, smile through it. But some love doesn't go quietly, and his was screaming between every beat, every post, every breakdown. Years have passed, rings have been exchanged, families built, careers reshaped. And yet, one truth remains unchanged. Justin Bieber never truly let go of Selena Gomez. He shaded her. He mirrored her moves. He tried to outshine her. He pretended she didn't matter, but every lyric, every tear-soaked melody, every impulsive post told a different story. This wasn't just nostalgia. It wasn't just an ex he couldn't forget. It was a wound that never fully closed. A love that lingered in every shadow of his success. And now fans are seeing it clearly, in the spirals, in the silence, in the way he still tries to prove something. Long after there's nothing left to win. Because Selena wasn't just a chapter, she was the blueprint. The muse behind the music. The anchor he lost. The what if that keeps haunting him through every spotlight dot, and maybe that's what makes this story so heartbreaking. It's not just that she moved on. It's that he didn't, even now with a wife by his side and a child in his arms. Justin still seems trapped in the memory of a love that ended without peace, a story he never got to finish. And maybe never will. So now the world watches, not with judgment, but with quiet heartbreak as a man who once had it all wrestles with the one thing he couldn't keep, the girl who got away. So what do you think? Is Justin still trapped in a love story that never got its ending? Or is this just the messy fallout of fame, heartbreak, and timing gone wrong? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're reading everything. And if you've ever held on to something too long, you're not alone. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more raw, unfiltered breakdowns, because in the world of celebrity love stories, the truth is always messier than it seems. We'll catch you in the next one.